Nice. Okay. So, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to 11fitTV. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Wallace Conrad, and today I will be demonstrating, as promised, progression to the push-up exercise. Now this exercise is very important. We have been using for years and years and years, right? And when it comes on to upper body strength, this is the king. Remember, you don't necessarily need weights to perform this exercise or to build the upper body. There are so many variations of the push-up exercise, right? And if you do calisthenics, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's using your body weight to really build those muscles. And that is all you really need. I want you to think about something, right? Exercising is not always about the look of your physique, but it is, think about it as getting your body ready for what is to come, right? That is what warm up is. You're telling your body, hey, I'm going to give you some load, and I want you to feel a lighter version of this before I actually do the thing, right? So we have everyday movements: the lifting, the pushing, the pulling, right? The standing up, sitting down. So we're getting our body for what is to come, these activities, right? And the push up, as the name suggests, the pushing actions, right? And that upper body strength, we need that in a lot of our daily activities. And that is why it is important that you are able to execute this. And at the end of this exercise, you will be able to do that in one form or the next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 5 versions, and these are progressions to actually getting to the push-up exercise as you would see most people do it. But don't worry about that. Do what you can of these 5, and eventually you'll be able to get to doing the push-up exercise on the ground, right? Or a horizontal surface, okay? So that being said, we're going to start vertically, right? And what you want to do is find a surface, a wall in this case, right? And you're going to step back about 1 to 2 feet from that wall, right? And you're going to place your hands about shoulder width apart, right, on that wall, or a little further than shoulder width apart, right? As I said, there are so many different versions for the push-up exercise, but we're keeping it simple, right, for the start. So you're going to put your hands on the wall, right? You don't want to be this close. Step back, all right? Here we go. And when you push through your hands, I want you to think about an arrow and your elbows, both elbows forming like an arrow shape, right? And then you're going to push. Okay. So once you are able to do 12 to 15 of these, you're in a good place to move on to the next progression. And we'll talk about progression number 2. But let's go ahead and execute 12 of these. Okay. So we're talking about chest, triceps, right? The posture comes into play, right? All of these things are affected by the push-up exercise. Okay, so our hands are on the wall, right? And then we're leaning forward, right? We're pushing back. We're pushing. Okay, we're pushing. And you can adjust it as you go along. If this feels uncomfortable to you, maybe you're a little bit further than you need to be. So bring it in some, and then you push. Okay, you push. Now, what this does is it takes the your entire body weight away from the push, right? So you're able to do it, and that's why I said by the end of this, you'll be able to build up some strength to do the final exercise. Okay, so let's do our 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we do our 12, right? And you're starting to feel those in your tricep. Okay, I am good there. I'm just beginning. I'm going to do this 12. You do 3 sets of those. Okay, good. By the second week, I'm able to master that. Just giving you an example of a date. It doesn't necessarily have to be the second week, but once you're consistent, remember we always talk about consistency, right? You have to do it again and again and again. And I'm not saying do it every single day. Remember, rest is also important. So take 1 day for rest, do nothing, just chill, or a light walk, right? Or something like this, right? But if you're consistent, you'll be able to do it. Soon you'll find your body be able to do more and more. Okay, so here is the second progression of the exercise. Okay, so you're going to find a surface. It could be a table, it could be a chair. In this case, I brought a chair along, right? And then what you're going to do here, we're switching from vertical to horizontal, right? And this is going to add more body weight to the exercise process, right? And it is the same concept, right? So I have my chair. I'm putting my arms on the chair. I'm giving myself some room, and you'll feel this as you go along, right? And now you're beginning to push. Remember that arrow shape that we're trying to achieve? So we're doing that, and we're pushing, right? And we're pushing. My chair is a little bit wobbly, and we're pushing, right? We're pushing. Nice. Okay. So that is the second progression, right? Once you're able to do 12 to 15 of these, you move to the next stage of the exercise. Okay. So number one, wall push-ups. Number two, incline push-ups. I'm using a chair here. You can use a table or something that is a bit taller, right? Than the chair or the table that you might use. Okay, but you get the idea. The more horizontal you go, the more body weight gets added to the exercise, and it gives your pectoral muscles, your arms, your shoulders more load, right, to execute the exercise. Okay, so now we're moving from the incline, and we would be able to master our 12 to 15 there. Let's say 3 rounds, right? And then we are going to do the push-up exercise on our knees now. Okay, so you see, we are wall, table. Now we are down on the ground. Okay, so we're going down, right? We want to keep our backs as straight as possible, right? As much as you can. And then we're putting our arms about shoulder width apart, and then we're going down and we're pushing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so this version is more difficult than the previous and the first one that you did. Okay, so now your core starts to come into play, right? Because that is also important in push-up exercise. Your core is nice and contracted, right? Your arms come into play. You have more body weight now, more load on the arms, more load on the chest, right? And you're really going for that full push power. Now you're almost there, which brings us to the fourth progression. Okay, so what you're going to do for this one now, we're getting up off our knees, right? And now we go into what I call a plank or a high plank. Okay, so we're up. We are trying to keep our body as straight as physically possible, right? And then we're lowering, right? This is all about control, right? Core comes into play, and we're going down. And we make that 1. We go back up into the high plank, right? And we lower down. Control. You don't have to do it as slow as I am doing it, right? If you're unable to do that, that is fine. Do what you are able to do, okay? But that is the fourth progression. So we're doing the negatives, or you'll hear it be called eccentric, right? So we're going down. You get back up. You see what I'm doing there? I'm not pushing straight out of the negatives, right? I'm just coming up on my knees, and I'm going back to that high plank, and I'm doing the negatives again. Nice. Okay, so once you're able to do 12 to 15 of that, again, we move to the final progression, which is the execution of the standard push-up exercise. Okay, and so once we're there, it's time for us to do our 12 to 15. So now we're fully off. We're not doing the negatives anymore. Our muscles are now used to that action, right? And we're executing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so once you get to this stage, now you can do a number of variations for the push-up exercise, right? You can do it staggered. You can start doing your diamonds, right? You can start elevating your legs onto something, right? A decline, right? So there are so many different variations that opens up once you master that last progression and you're able to do the push-up exercise. Now you'll start to feel it a lot in your triceps. You'll start to feel it in your pectoral muscles more and more, your abs. You'll start to feeling it there a little, right? But all in all, those are 5 exercises. So let's go back from the top. We do it on the wall first, right? Then we move from that vertical position to the incline. We do it on the chair. Now we're going horizontal. After that, we go on our knees, do the knee push-ups, and then we do the negatives. And then finally, we do the standard push-up exercise. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. I am free, willing, and able to answer all of those questions. Drop it in the comment section. Remember to like, remember to subscribe. My name is Wallace Conrad. Be safe. Take care of your families. Blessing to you. And until next time, see you again soon.
I know that you're tired, but I'm asking you to do me one favor. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend. Come on, you got this. I know you can do it. Keep going.